どうぞ。
Dear friends and many participants from many countries, I am very pleased to be able to speak to you today this way. Now, on my book, Japan and Asia, I have collected the major parts of my contributions to my studies. The first part, the book is divided into 4 parts. The part 1 discusses the most recent phenomena in Japan, and the second part discusses the relations between economic development and political development. The third part discusses the microscopic survey studies in East Asia on 3 topics. The first on Green Revolution and its impact on the agricultural villages. The second, the transfer of technologies among the countries. The third, on the Japanese-style management planted in other countries in Asia. The last part discusses critically the crash of civilizations maintained by Huntington. When I presented the views in some conferences, I have received a few comments from my colleagues. So I would give my answers to those comments afterwards. The first question is the recent experiences of the Japanese economy, the so-called lost 2 decades. After growing very fast for several decades, Japan has plunged into the deep depression. Why? Particularly after the Cold War ended. I have discussed this in the first part, and it is based on 2 things. One is the decline of demographic growth, population growth, and secondly, the uncertainties caused by the political situations. The second part discusses the relation between economic development economics, and political science. One comment I received after my book was published was particularly concerned with this particular issue. And if I were younger and had more time, I would have worked on this subject more intensively. The part 3 offers the 3 examples of microscopic survey studies in developing countries. In the sense of methodology, this is very different from what most anthropologists do. In other words, the intensive studies by individual scholars in different countries. Their careful observations are often very suggestive and very useful. Nevertheless, how much generalization one can make on the basis of such individualistic study is very doubtful. For instance, the Gunnar Myrdal's pessimism on Asian development was mainly caused by the wrong observations of anthropologists rather than good economists based on the past performance. The last part, part 4, discusses the ideological or cultural aspects of Asian development. I am particularly critical of Professor Huntington's crash of civilization thesis. I do not believe that the current situation causing the troubles all over the world is not the result of the crash of civilizations. I hope the world intellectuals would not fall into the errors of his type. The real troubles are caused not just by crash of civilization. It is only one aspect of the troubles, but other troubles such as the differences in the development stages in different countries, and the historic background, simple civil wars among tribes, and so on. Now, if after my book was published, I was asked one or two serious questions. The first question was, which one would you emphasize among 4 parts? I said the part 2 is probably the kind of task I have to undertake further as an economist if I were younger. The second question I received is the microscopic sample surveys I pursued in part 3. This is really the same as the microeconometric research enunciated by many econometricians in recent years. I should hope that this way will be developed further by professional econometricians and dig deeply into how to produce the data, not only the analysis of the given data. The third comment I'd like to answer is how much confidence I have about the future of Asian development. One comment asks me, basically I was optimistic, but about the future I expressed my cautious pessimism. The reason is that Japan has learned the Western civilizations quickly, but not other countries. Remember that Japan modernized the governmental governance of the country only after 15 years. The first foreign ships opened up the Japanese harbors. And then after 75 years, we lumped into the Pacific War. And afterwards, 75 years, we have recovered. Now, compare this with other countries. The other countries have already had 75 years after the Second World War, yet their level of development is not as good. The reason why they were so much behind must be investigated very carefully. Now, that's the kind of issues that I have discussed in part 4. I hope you will read my paper, my book, and give me more comments. Thank you very much. Okay.